Page 80. Choose the one best answer to each question. And question 1 refers to the following diagram. We have a ladder that's leaning up against the house. So that ladder is hypotenuse because there's the right angle. And we have a house. We have the ground. And let me just highlight in those other pieces for you. Here's one of the legs that's hooked to the right angle. Here's the other leg that's hooked to the right angle. And we know that that one is 8 feet. So let's read our problem. The bottom of the ladder, right there, is placed 8 feet from the wall of a house. The wall and the ground form a right angle. If the ladder is 15 feet in length, so we have 15 feet and 8 feet, that's a good thing. How far up the wall does it reach to the nearest foot? So we're looking for that dimension. So I'm going to do Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared is c squared. And this time I know c. I know that whatever I'm looking for has to be smaller than 15. And I'm going to use 8 as the value for b, and we do not know a yet. So just let that variable keep falling. You don't have to worry about it, just don't lose it. 8 eighths are 64. 15 times itself is 225. Now we need to isolate the variable. We need to get a on a side by itself. So I need to move the 64. And you move with inverse. The inverse of plus is minus, so that will cancel. And you're left with a squared equals 225 minus 64. It's going to be a 1, a 6, and a 1, I believe. Not taking a chance. Yes. So let's take the square root. And so a is approximately, and they told us to round to the nearest foot, so we have 12.6. And if you round it to the nearest foot, it's approximately 13 feet. So the answer is number 2. I love this question. Question 2 refers to the following diagram. It's a coordinate plane. What is the distance between points J and K? So they want me to find and you to find this distance. And I can tell you already that it's a hypotenuse because it's slanted. So if I take this leg of this triangle and this leg of the triangle, I can see the right angle right in here. So I know which formula is going to work for me. Let me actually do it this way. You can see the lines if you look for them. So how am I going to find the actual numbers? All I have to do is count the boxes. So from J to this corner is 4. So this is 4 boxes, 4 units. And then from that corner down to K is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just counting the boxes. So this is 7 units. And then you can find C. I know that the formula is going to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We're supposed to round to the 10th this time. So I'm going to let my a be 4 and my b be 7. And together those will tell me c squared. 4 4s are 16, 7 7s are 49, and if I add those together, I'll get c squared. And that looks like 65. You just check it, because that's where I mess up. Take the square root of that, and you get 8.062 and a bunch of other stuff. So c to the 10th is about 8.1 units. So I like number 3 on that one. I almost marked number 4 because my brain is not wired like most people's, but be careful, it's 8.1. Number 3 refers to the following diagram. So it looks like we have a lake or a pond, and there is a right angle right here at point C, given that those lines form a beautiful right triangle. There's your right angle. Go ahead and mark. There's a leg. There's a leg, and I know that because they're hooked to the right angle. And here's hypotenuse. That's across from the right angle. So let's see what we're supposed to do with this. Bill wants to find the width of the pond. He places stakes at points A and B, and then finds C, so that C, angle C, is a right angle. Those are capital letters, so they're referring to points. This C is a point. This little c is hypotenuse, so don't let that confuse you. This little a and little b refer to lines. The big capital letters refer to points. This makes triangle ABC a right triangle. If the distance from A to C, so that's going to be this one, AC, is 60 feet, and the distance from B to C, that segment, is 80 feet, how far is it, about how far from A to B? If you recognize that this is a 3, 4, 5 enlargement, you will know the answer to C. If you don't, let's work it and see. So we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and we do not know side C. We know A, and we know B. 6 times 6 is 36 with 2 zeros. 8 times 8 is 64 with 2 zeros. And that sum is C squared. So 6,400 plus 3,600 is 10,000. And that is C squared. Take the square root of that, and you get 100. That's C, sorry. So that distance is approximately 100 feet, and that falls in the range of number 3. somewhere between 95 and 105. And last but not least, question 4 refers to the following diagram. So I have a trapezoid here. Let me just go ahead and mark that for you. This four-sided shape is a trapezoid. And within the trapezoid, they have drawn a diagonal and a right angle that's formed right there. So here's the right angle. Where would we find hypotenuse given that right angle? Well, I guess it didn't want to color that for me. Hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. So it's going to be this side. This is hypotenuse. And then we can see the legs of this thing sitting in here as well. We have a leg here and a leg here. Okay, and we know that this one is 40. We know that hypotenuse is 104, and we do not know the length of this brace. I bet I know what the question's going to be. But let's read it and see. Jan builds a platform with the top in the shape of a trapezoid. The plans call for a diagonal brace to be added. What is the length of the brace to the nearest inch? Well, we know that hypotenuse is C, and we know that this is either A or B. It doesn't matter. So let's use Pythagorean theorem. Where A squared plus the brace squared is hypotenuse squared. 40 times 40, that would be 16 with 2 zeros. We don't know the brace, so just leave it alone. Let it keep falling down, because we definitely don't want to lose it. And this number by my calculator is quite large. I want to isolate B squared. So I'm going to move away the 1600, and I do that with an inverse so that that will cancel. I'm left with B squared equals the difference between those two, and you can use your calculator or do it in your head. And then take the square root of both sides. I think this one's even. I believe it's 97, but let me see. 92/16. I was close. It's 96 inches. So I like answer number 3 on that one.